na na. Family goes, oh na na na. Oh na na na. Come kick it. Come kick it with the Casey's. All that love and all those babies. C-A-S-C-Y. Welcome to the lights. Welcome. C-A-S-C-Y. DJ Envy and Gia, oh oh. It's time to kick it with the Casey's. You're tuned into the Casey crew.
What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And this is another edition of the KC Crew.
Welcome. Hello, 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 beautiful people.
Happy holidays, and hopefully you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving. I know we did. We didn't really have that much family over. It was just us, and it was a time. I mean, we just relaxed. We played card games, and then we watched a 3-hour movie. So all of that, and parents out there, I want to let you know, Wicked is 2.5 hours and 30 minutes of previews. It's 3 hours long, every bit of 3 hours. So for y'all out there, yes.
I really enjoyed it. And I thought that the two leads were phenomenal. Rashawn, every time I looked over at him, he was like, I mean, how long is this freaking movie?
It was long.
I mean, how much longer do we have till the movie's over? I was like, chill out. You're enjoying yourself. It's a good movie. It's a good story, good acting. There were a few moments that made me cringe. I'm going to leave that alone. But aside from that, it was a great movie.
Yeah, it was, the kids enjoyed the movie. I know I don't want to say anxiety is the word, but I'm nervous when I'm with my kids and I'm in a movie theater, right? And not because I think something's going to happen, is I'm just looking at every moving part. So, of course, we have a 3-year-old. She just turned 3. Peyton turned 3 on Thanksgiving, actually. She's 3, so she asks a lot of questions. Why is she green? Why does she have a broom? Why is it a castle? And she's asking during the movie, but kids don't have inside voices. So she's talking, and I'm like, shh, 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 right? So that's one. So I'm making nervous. I don't want people to be like, damn, I can't hear, because I know how I would feel.
Not only that, she was asking for clarification on the plot.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're only 3. What do you know about the plot?
Yes.
You're 3 today. What do you know about the plot?
She's talking.
Yes.
Right? And then I have my other kids over there that, they're eating popcorn, they're dropping popcorn, they're dropping stuff, and they're moving around, and they bump into the chair in front of them. So I'm trying to make sure they don't hit the chair, because that's the worst thing ever. If you're in a movie theater and somebody behind you's kicking your chair, you're ready to fight.
Yeah.
Like, you are ready to fight. So I was like watching them, and I'm not really watching the movie, and the movie just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. But
it was worth it. It was good. My kids loved it.
They did.
I enjoyed it. And we also saw Wicked on Broadway. Both excellent.
Yeah. So when part 2 comes out, I'll make sure I'm out of town. So just get.
Oh no, you're going. You're going. You need to be able to put both parts together so you can understand everything.
No, I understand everything. I know how it ends.
I wish I could talk about it. It's really good.
I think they know how it ends. I think it's the story of the Wizard of Oz.
No, but I'll say this. The interesting part of it is how the Wicked Witch became wicked.
Right.
Personally, I think that that's going to be the beauty of the story, because the Wicked Witch started out as a wonderful, kind-hearted, loving, and compassionate person. Remember with the animals? Compassionate. And it was life traumas and life's hurdles and the evil of others, it seems to me, that began to turn her wicked. So by the time the movie ends, you're just on the precipice of that. You don't see it happen yet, which is really going to draw everyone in to go to see part 2, because it's going to be that harsh change from such a lovely human being to a wicked human being. And I think it mirrors life. It mirrors life in so many ways. That movie, it mirrored racism. It mirrored so many things. I just went on and on. Huh?
Did you talk to my dad?
I did talk to your dad.
Oh, yeah.
And we had that conversation. Okay. I spoke to his dad. My mother-in-law and father-in-law went to go see Wicked, which shocked the hell out of me.
Well, let me tell you about my dad. So my dad just turned 82. And they go see movies every Friday.
I know, but I didn't think they would go to see.
They went to go see Wicked. He said the same thing with me. He was like, look, I need a bathroom break for Wicked too. He's like 3 hours in the bathroom break. But my dad is very, very old school. He came up at a time when racism was strong. Like, he served in the military. And when he served in the military, some of his soldier buddies, white soldier buddies, could use a bathroom and he couldn't use the bathroom. His white soldier buddies would be able to go into a restaurant and eat, and he wouldn't be able to go in and eat. So he's very big into racism. He looks at things differently. So when he's seen it, he was like, yeah, it was all right. Just showed white supremacy. I'm like, what are you talking about, Pops?
Okay, so I don't know about all that.
No, I'm telling you. Like, so
I don't know about all that.
What do you mean? He goes, the girl was green. She was really black. You see how when she came around, nobody wanted to be next to the black person. Nobody wanted to be rooming with the black person. And then what happened? Then she had the powers, and then everybody wanted to take her power and be her friend because she had the powers. It's white supremacy. I said, okay, man.
Again, I wouldn't say all that. I just said that it mirrors racism, meaning people didn't mess with her because she was green and she appeared different than everyone else.
But that was why the black girl green. I was like, but that's problem. Let's see.
And my personal opinion, I think that it was by design that they casted a black lead, and I thought that was brilliant. And she's so talented. It was very nice.
We'll let you see it. But
yes.
Please tell us what you think. And also this week, Gia started her vlog and her cooking show. For most of you who don't know, because you've never probably tried her food, Gia cooks amazing when she does cook, and she's cooking more, and we love it. Before we had kids, when we just had one kid, Gia used to cook every night. We didn't have the craziness of what we have now. Like, we didn't have to go to this kid's game and this kid's practice and this and that and the other. It was just us and Madison. And Gia would make our business to cook every night. And Gia gets busy with the food. We like things a little spicy. We like things well seasoned. We like things tender. And Gia is amazing when it comes to it. She just gets busy. And the fact that she's showing you guys how she cooks is pretty dope. But I like it even more because she usually does it a couple of times, because me and her got into a big argument about it. So if you don't know, Gia is, she has a cooking show. It's called Real Life, Real Food with Gia Casey. Mercedes is on the show, also our friend Crystal. The reason to say I love it is when Gia cooks, Gia doesn't cook with percentages or calculations or amounts. It's a feeling. It's a sprinkle a little seasoned salt, sprinkle a little jerk sauce, sprinkle a little of this. And the reason is it's made from love. But when she's cooking and she's teaching people how she cooks, so you guys can prepare the dish if you have never, she's like, I have to break it down so they know exactly how much salt, exactly how much pepper.
Oh,
exactly
this argument. I'm like, what argument are you talking about?
So okay. I told her, I was like, well, you shouldn't worry about that. I said, because cooking is a feeling. It's a feeling of love. And I was like, you shouldn't have to break down the percentages. But this is why I like it. And I don't think percentages is right. Measurements. But this is why I like it. Because she has to cook a couple of times to get the right measurements to make it work.
Right.
And when she does cook, I get to eat it all the time. Now, nobody eats more than me except Mercedes. But besides that, it's dope because
Mercedes is a resident food tester.
Yeah,
she's a taste tester on the show, essentially. Right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So the first episode, she's cooking oxtail. In oxtail, if you never had it, you got to try it. And you have to try it right. Because it's one of those things, if you try the right one for the first time, you'll love it forever.
Yes. But if you try the wrong one for the first time,
you'll hate it.
It'll be tough. It won't be seasoned well enough. You'll be like, what's all the hype?
Right. So she cooked oxtail. So if they plan to cook on Tuesday, they cook on Sunday and Monday to get the right measurements, right? Which is fine because I get to eat it Sunday and Monday. And nobody likes oxtail more than me and my son Jackson. He will fuck up a pair of oxtail. Excuse my French. Like, to the point where you have to hide yours, because if he comes home, he'd be like, oxtail. And the fact that he knows how to use the microwave, he don't even have to ask. He just puts that shit in the microwave.
So let me tell you what Jackson did. So when we were about to film the first episode, he texts the barber, John, himself, and asked John to come over to give him a haircut because he wanted to be the taste tester on the show. So he was inviting himself onto the show, and he wanted to make sure that he had a fresh cut to be on the show. And I was like, Jackson, we didn't write you into it. So I don't have a segment for you,
So we have a kitchen downstairs in the basement, on the lower level, I should say. And that's where I have to hide my food. Because if I leave it upstairs in the kitchen.
Did you?
Yes. The kids will fuck my food up. I hide it.
You hide in the main kitchen?
Yes. So the reason that we say that is, she does it and she's really, really dope with it. So if you haven't got a chance, definitely figure it out. And Josh.
I'm sorry.
Tell Josh to call my back.
I'm just going to turn my phone off right now. It's okay. It's okay.
Just tell Josh we'll call my back. Right. Josh is the guy that does our sound and everything. But anyway.
You were saying that we argued.
Oh yeah, I was saying argue because I was like, it should be more of love and less of the amount, actual amounts. But the reason I was saying is she proved me wrong. Mercedes, somebody who's never cooked oxtail before, she watched it. She actually, Gia and Crystal gave her exactly what to do to prepare the oxtail on her own. So she went home, she bought the oxtail, she bought the ingredients, she bought the sauce, and prepared it at home and brought it back the next day to see how it would taste. And when I say Mercedes killed it by following the directions, it was dope. Like it was everything.
Mercedes is doing the butterfly right now in the back.
And I'm not just saying it because Mercedes is here, but I'm saying it because she really killed it. So
yeah.
If you get a chance, if you want to cook oxtail, and they did a jerky, which is a jerk turkey. They're going to be doing other dishes, not just Caribbean dishes, but all types of dishes. You should definitely try it out because it's just some things that you can put in your repertoire for your husband or your wife that your family might love. So I just wanted to put people on to your cooking show.
Yes. I just want to say one thing. What he's talking about that we argued about was basically because, and I said this on the first episode, he said season with love, or what did Crystal say? Like season, like let your ancestors guide your hand, like something like that. And that's probably how most of you cook. But if I'm teaching you how to make it the way that I make it, when you make it, I want yours to taste exactly the way that mine's tastes. So I have to give you how many pounds of meat. I have to give you the exact measurement. So like Rashawn said, we cooked everything the night before, 2 nights before, so that when I'm seasoning, I'm like, okay, I kept dialing in a little bit more measurement. Okay, no, I would put this much. No, I would put this much. Okay, how much was that? And then we cooked it and tried it and then made sure that every measurement, every seasoning was absolutely perfect so that I can communicate it to you guys. Because, and this is what we argued about. I'm like, if I don't tell them exactly how much of this ingredient, that ingredient to add, they're going to make it. It might look the same, but it's not going to taste the same. And like, yeah, your oxtail was mid. Oh, my oxtail was mid because you didn't make it like me. So now you guys know, and we're going to do it for every episode moving forward. So we're going to do long form episodes. Like the oxtail episode was like an hour and 28 minute long. So that if you never made it, step by step, piece by piece, you are going to get the entire experience of how to do it. You won't have to ask any questions. But then there's going to be some episodes where it's short form, like maybe 4 or 5 minutes, so that we give you the ingredients, we give it to you quick, you can get it, and you have everything that you essentially need. But if you want the experience of cooking with us, you'll see different episodes that are formatted different ways for you guys.
Absolutely. So if you get a chance, definitely check out her oxtail episode, check out the jerky episode. And then she's even vlogging now, which I'm proud of because she does so much. You get to see actually a day in the life with Gia. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's stupid, sometimes she's driving with a dirty car, sometimes she has no gas. Bren's always wants something to eat, so you could definitely...
The dirty car was because of you. And you know what? I'll be honest with you guys. I'm actually having fun. Like, I had fun vlogging. Like, another disclaimer, I've never watched anyone's vlog. Like, I don't watch vlogs. So it was just the concept. And then it was like, oh yeah, that's vlogging. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, I don't watch story time things that Madison was telling you. You probably don't know what it is. Story time, like, I think it's like a girl be doing her makeup and telling you a story while she's doing her makeup. I saw something like it that someone did on Instagram the other day. I was like, oh, this is a story time thing. Get dressed with me or shop with me. So other people have done shop with me, like how we did the shop with me episode for the food, the grocery list. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I've never watched it. So I'm just taking you with me and talking to you like I would talk to a friend in the car or a friend on whatever experience that I'm having that day. You know what I mean? So I actually had fun doing them. So I'm actually enjoying them. So yeah, expect many, many more to come.
Now let's get to the topic of the week. Now, the topic of the week I want to talk about is settling.
Is what?
Settling.
Okay.
All right. So now, when men and women, they're dating somebody or they're looking for love, they have a checklist of what they want, right? They want a 10, they want tall, they want dark, they want light, they want fat ass, they want a good job, they want this, they want that.
Everybody has a wish list.
Everybody has a wish list.
Yeah.
At what age or at what point do you start taking things off of that wish list and you start settling? Right? Because, especially with women.
Okay.
Because women have a clock. They want kids. They want children. So at what point do women say, you know what, I'm going to start taking things off of that wish list because now it's time for me to settle down?
Mm-hmm.
And why do you think that should happen if you do, or why do you think it shouldn't happen if you don't think? You want me to start talk so I can break it down into what I think?
Let me speak first.
Go.
Okay. Because you asked me the question and I'm formulating my answer.
Go.
I don't think that anyone should ever settle unless your expectations are out of this world. Some people's expectations are unrealistic. And if unrealistic expectations is what's holding you back from being in a successful relationship, then maybe you need to change your standards or alter your expectations.
But changing your standards meaning what, right? Because
Foundational things, I think, should remain solid
okay,
and intact. Someone who is intelligent, ambitious, kind, loving, loyal, funny. And then you may have some things that really apply to your chemistry. Maybe you get along with people that are quirky. Maybe you get along with people that are particularly witty. Maybe you get along with someone who is more of an introvert and doesn't like to go out that much, or an extrovert that likes to go out all the time. Those are little things that are personalized to you and fine-tuned to your personality. So those I would keep, like, because you know who you are, you know what you look for in another person and what makes you tick. But if you have an expectation like, oh, I want a man that makes $200,000 a year. Now you can have that perfect person that has all of your foundational requirements, but doesn't earn that type of living, and then you write them off.
let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you're a woman and on the checklist is, I want a tall man that's in shape, that has a good job, that has a big boot,
Okay.
has a great job, that's smart, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now you're getting to an age where it's like, okay, well, I'm getting up there and I haven't found that.
Mhm.
Now do you say, well, now I'll get a short man that's a little overweight, that has a small pee-pee, that doesn't have such a good job? Because at the end of the day, now I'm at an age where my biological clock is ticking.
I'll tell you
this.
I
I want a
this.
relationship. I want a marriage. These things I haven't been able to find.
Mm-hmm.
Do you say, well, I keep looking? Or do you say, well, now I'll settle? I'll settle for a little overweight. I'll settle for the small pee-pee. I'll settle for the fact that he's been married 6 times. I'll
Mhm.
settle for the fact that maybe things that I wouldn't settle for before, I'll settle for now, because now I'm like, I want a kid. Now I want to.
My answer is no. My answer is so clean.
But
Hold on.
you could end up with 7 cats now.
My answer is so clean. The
That was
only
funny. You want to laugh? Okay. You want to laugh? Okay.
so funny.
Shut it. Say it. Okay.
My only thing would be if my expectations are unrealistic.
Are those expectations unrealistic? The ones I just named?
I cannot tell another person what expectations are unrealistic because there's no umbrella. Because, for instance, if you're Mercedes is 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
If in her mind she feels uncomfortable standing next to someone who's 5'10", I can't tell her that wanting a taller man is unrealistic. Only the person will know if their expectation is unrealistic. Even with the example I gave with $200,000. To me, that's unrealistic. You may be blessed with a man or a woman that earns that type of living if that's something that's important to you. It depends on how important it is to you. But you will, speaking from my opinion, I would take the totality of all of my expectations and figure out if I'm wanting too much.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's the totality that would dictate to me whether it's out of touch or not, if it's unrealistic or not. So what I'll say is, if I am deeming that my expectations are realistic, then no, I would not stray from it. And my biological clock would not be something that would dictate whether I settled with a man who was not foundationally sound for me. Absolutely not. Because I'm one of those people that believes that once that clock starts ticking faster and faster, If I want to have a child, I'm going to go and get me a child. I am the first person. If I was, say, 36 with no boo, no person that I'm like, you know what? He's my future. He's someone that I can see myself getting married to and having a family with. If that person didn't exist, me personally, I'm freezing. I'd probably freeze my eggs at 35, actually. And then by 36, if I didn't have that man, if I didn't have that future, if I didn't have something that let me know that my future was secure with a particular person, then I am going to the sperm bank and I am choosing, and I don't know if they charge more for better education, and I am going through the book and I'm choosing everything and I'm buying that sperm and I'm getting pregnant and I'm having the baby on my own, because a lot of girls will say, oh, well, you know, a guy doesn't want a woman with children. That is not true at all.
Mm-hmm.
I know more relationships where the individual parties or party, one of the two, already had a child or children and met someone and they rode off into the sunset and are living their happily ever after. One kid does not stop any show. So I would not worry about that preventing my hopes and dreams of a future and finding my person. I would not look at that as something that would deter that at all. If I wanted my child and I'm worried about my biological clock and I am single, I am having that child and nothing is going to stop me. I'm going to work. I'm going to save my money. I'm going to spend my money and I'm going to have my baby, because if you're like me, I knew always that I was born to be a mother and life's circumstances wouldn't stop me, because I would be scared to get closer and closer to 40, because at 40, it starts to get a little shaky.
Mm-hmm.
I was concerned getting pregnant at around that age. Do you know what I mean? Because you just don't know with the genes and the quality of your eggs. It said the quality of a man's sperm, if he's older, if you're a man, things of that nature can affect the health of your baby. So I'm not rolling the dice. I'm not playing those games. I'm one of those people, I like to be in control of my circumstance. I like to be in control of my future. And I'm not just going to sit in bed and hope and pray that one day he'll ride in on a white horse and come and rescue me and my clock. So I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to settle with someone who's not checking off the foundationally important things on my list because I want to get married and I want to have a baby. Because you know what's more important than getting married and having a baby? Just being happy in life. Just happiness is so underrated. I know so many people that are unhappy. You know so many people that are unhappy. And sometimes happiness has everything to do with our choices.
And I agree with you. I feel like if you do settle, like she said, it has to be realistic. I do feel like if you do settle, you might think you're going to be happy, but I think overall, I don't know if you will possibly be happy, right? Because there'll be so many things that you wanted. And if that person does not give you what you want and you're settling for it, it's going to get to a head, right? It's going to be a pimple and it's going to pop, right? So I always say, I would rather not settle and wait a lot longer to get the things that you want. And like Gia said, if that means to do things on my own, if I have to buy my own house, if I have to have my own family and this, that, and the other, I'd rather you not settle, because at the end of the day, it's happiness. And I feel like you never want to be connected to a person where you can't back out. Meaning, you know, if I said, you know, I wanted a certain thing and I couldn't find that certain thing, and I said, okay, well, I'll just have this because this is as close as I'm going to get. I'm not really in love with the situation. I don't really.
It's good enough.
It's good enough. It's good enough. Oh. Yes. And then it gets to a head. It might get to the head in 4 years. It might be 8 years. It might be 12 years. Now I'm in a situation where I'm stuck, right? Now I have to feel like, damn, do I just stay here for my kids? Because now I have.
Oh.
I really don't like this bitch. I really don't want her nowhere near me. But
it doesn't even have to be, I don't like her.
It could be.
But you know,
that's usually what it is. I don't like her.
No. Sometimes it doesn't have to be that you dislike a person. It could just be that this person isn't my life partner.
Like, do
you understand? It's not a fit. When you get married to somebody, it has to be like putting two pieces of a puzzle together. And where I lack, you fill me in. And where you lack, I fill you in. And when I make a joke, damn it, you laugh. Do you understand what I'm saying? I should have laughed at your joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
You see how it's coming full circle?
Yeah.
No, but those are the things that's important. Just, it's honest to God, the little things. And that's what I appreciate the most about our relationship. It's the little things. People on the outside would look at our relationship and think that it's the big things, like it's the lifestyle, it's the traveling and it's the house and the cars. I'm just being so real with you guys. And it's like, it's the look of it all. That ain't it. That ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
It's us cuddling at night. It's you waking up and making me breakfast on a Sunday morning. It's us laying in bed and rolling around and play fighting and me tickling you and you laughing and, me making you feel like a little sweet baby.
Me farting on you.
Right? And, it's the fun. It's the genuine ingrained happiness that we share. That's the magic. That's that chemistry that I was talking about. So if you're and that's what I was saying, like the little quirky things, if you have a person, listen, it doesn't have to be, I hate you, or I can't stand this, whatever. No, it could be something as simple as a girl that likes to go out all the time and a guy that likes to stay in all the time. And I know people in this situation where it's like, why you got to be going out all the time? What you looking for out in the streets? Why are you dressed like that going out? Oh, you cheat. It's always something in these relationships. And that's a small little thing. It sounds like, oh, I'm an introvert, she's an extrovert. But that little thing can turn into a huge crack that just keeps growing over years. Next thing you know, you're distant because you're always fighting over the same things and the relationship may not be able to work as a result of it. And that could just be one example. There could be other things that you've settled on, but you figure, it's good enough. No, it's not good enough. Good enough is not enough to marry somebody. You see what I mean?
I agree with you. So
no, I don't believe in settling.
Yeah, I don't either. And we'd love to hear what you think. You could email us at thecaseycrew@gmail.com, theecaseycrew@gmail.com. I just feel like if you settle, it might be fine for a little bit, but it's going to get to a point where you're like, I don't want to be there. And I never want to see somebody in a situation where they can't leave or they feel like they're stuck or they're always connected to somebody. That's my fear. Like, I always I try to look at when I see men or women going through problems or talking about relationships, I always try to look at it from I'm the dad and what advice I would give my daughter or what advice I would give my son. And I try to base it off of that. So let us know what you think. And now it's time for Pillow Talk.
What's in, what's up, what's down, who's trending? I wanna know now. Can we talk? Can we pillow talk now? Can we talk? Let's pillow talk now.
Now let's get to Pillow Talk. Now this week's episode or this week's portion of Pillow Talk is very short. Very, very short.
Okay.
Right? And I'm going to tell you why. We're going to talk about Joe Biden. You know who Joe Biden is?
No. Educate me.
She doesn't laugh at my jokes. Joe Biden, the president of the United States, decided to pardon. Did you hear this? He decided to pardon his son.
Okay.
People are upset about it, saying that, you said before that you weren't going to pardon your son, that you were going to let the court system handle it. But he decided he's up out of here. He's going to pardon his son. Mm-hmm. Now, his son is supposed to do time or get sentenced for having a gun illegally and also tax evasion. Now, if you don't know his son Hunter's a wild boy. I'm talking allegedly cocaine, allegedly crack, and allegedly prostitutes. All that. Mm-hmm. And he's the president's son. What is your thoughts on it?
How's his son?
He's up there in the 30s, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Okay, so what is he stating as his grounds for pardoning his son?
54. His son is 54? His son is 54, still wild. That's a wild boy. I thought he was like 39. 54, you still messing with cocaine, crack, and prostitutes, allegedly? Woo, you a wild boy.
Making it seem as though there's a cap age for cocaine, crack, and prostitutes.
There should be a cap age.
I feel like the big dabblers probably are in their 50s.
Nah, but
that's kind of like par for the course.
Nah, when you get to a certain age, you got to retire.
Wild 50-year-olds.
You 50 and you still with crack and prostitutes?
Are you crazy? How many 50-year-olds do you know, 50 plus, that
use crack?
Cocaine? I don't know anybody that uses crack. But I know
I'll say allegedly, just in case.
Many people in their 50s that have used cocaine.
Who?
Are you crazy?
I don't know what crowd y'all be at, but the crowd that I'll be at don't be using cocaine.
No, I know. I know of plenty mature people.
Who you been hanging out with?
I'm I'm not saying they're friends of ours. I'm saying I've known Rashawn. Now you're gonna sit here and act like you haven't known people that do cocaine?
I don't know what.
I'm not saying we invite them over for Sunday dinner, but we've known people that.
Name one person you know that do cocaine or crack.
I clearly said I don't know anyone that's done crack. I said cocaine.
Who?
Cocaine is like damn near a recreational drug right now.
Who the fuck are you
So
acting?
many people use cocaine. Why are you acting? Yeah. You call me naive sometimes?
No, see, we gotta have a conversation now.
You call me.
I'm gonna tell you
Hold
why.
on.
You
Excuse
own.
me.
Well, first of all, the mic was right there, so the mic heard everything. He heard everything.
You heard what I said?
Yes, he heard everything. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna bleep that out. But you sitting here acting brand new,
I don't know them people. I don't hang out with them. See,
I said I know or know of many 50 plus people that use drugs.
you know what? You go out once a month with your girls and you talk about, people that use cocaine. We need to have a conversation about your friend group.
Okay, stop playing. I'm talking about people. Come on, you know what I'm talking. I just told you who I'm talking about.
Now it's starting to make sense.
So people like that.
Now it's starting to make sense.
What?
What makes people hungry? Cocaine and weed. Who's always hungry?
Okay. Why are you
I'm just joking. But
no, but seriously, why are you acting brand new? Like you don't know
I don't know. I don't.
a lot of
Those are not my friends. I don't know
mature
them.
people.
I don't even have their numbers in my phone. The people you just said.
I didn't say that. Listen, I said very clearly, these are not people we've invited over for Sunday dinner. I just said they are not our friends. I'm saying I know of many people that use cocaine. It's like shocking in a sense, or at least when you start learning that these people that you know use cocaine, but you realize that many, many people do. Our children know many people that use cocaine. So from the age of, I don't know, I guess.
They don't know people that use cocaine.
Know of. Is that a better?
That's better. Because you act like they hanging out with kids and be.
Okay, excuse me. Know of. Know of. No.
They don't shoot up here where they shoot.
You acting like you haven't heard mad stories. I've heard mad stories. Like, what are you talking about? You acting brand new.
I hang with.
Like you don't, like you're not part of this world. You guys probably know many people that have used cocaine.
But you know mad people that use cocaine?
No, you don't know of many people that have used cocaine?
That's not. You know people that use cocaine? Oh, yeah, but...
Estat said he knows a lot, but that makes sense, though.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All you have to do is live and observe with your ears open. And you've never been out and seen somebody come back from the bathroom with a little powder on their nose? Hold on a second.
Yeah. I seen that nose boogers. Yeah, he had a couple of nose boogers. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So there's a.
That's what I'm saying. He's acting brand new.
I be forgetting about that because those are not my peoples. I don't be hanging around them all the time.
Okay. No, none of these are our peoples. They're not our peoples, but they're people that.
How do we start talking about
that we know of? I don't know. How the hell we
all we
here?
talk about is Joe Biden pardon.
Oh yes. Okay.
People are saying he said he wasn't supposed to pardon his son. He was supposed to leave it to the court system. But I put it to like this. Fuck the court system. At the end of the day, if I'm the president of the United States and I have a son, a daughter, or whatever it may be, a friend, before I leave that motherfucking office, I'm going to pardon everybody I know. If I'm president, I would have pardoned Big Meech. If I'm president, I would have pardoned Little Dirk. If I'm president, all the homies getting pardoned.
Can I ask a question?
Because they do it to themselves. They pardon all their homies, so why can't I pardon all my homies?
Which might be a little bit of a naive question.
What?
Is Big Meech a murderer?
No, he just sold a lot of drugs.
What was he convicted of?
Selling drugs.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just saying, I'm trying to figure out what kind of pardons you're willing to give out.
I'm giving pardons to all the homies. All the homies getting a pardon.
You sound crazy. That's why you would never be
the politicians do it all the time. Donald Trump's about to pardon all the people that was in January 6th that ran up the Capitol. He about to pardon all his homies. I pardon all my homies.
Wait, hold on. He's pardoning people that ran up into the Capitol?
Yeah, January 6th. Absolutely. He said yes. First, I watch.
Okay, so you asked my opinion.
Yes.
I think it's complete, total, and utter abuse of power.
So?
But then I also think so. Because if it's my son and I have that ability right before I leave office, I might abuse that power.
I don't have a problem. You could pardon whoever.
As long as my son isn't guilty of murder, rape, things that are very, very serious. Possessing a gun. Did he shoot anybody? Yeah. So it's gun possession.
Mhm.
Why is he illegally possessing a gun when you can get one legally? Like, that's strange. But whichever way, it's harmless if he didn't use it in a harmful way. And what else did you say? Oh, prostitution.
Well, now he was convicted of having a gun and tax evasion.
Tax evasion. That's not good. But you know what I mean? But it's not murder. It's not rape. I might abuse that power. I mean, okay, if I'm him, I might abuse that power because I don't know if he's going to be with us for much longer. Do you know what I mean?
You heard something?
No, I'm just saying he's up there. You know what I mean? So he's leaving the presidency. He's up there in age. He has a son that needs a little bit of help. Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, people are.
But I can also admit that it is an abuse of power.
Yeah, people abuse power. Wait till Trump gets in office. He's going to abuse all types of power.
And he might be looking at it like that as well. Like, look at this guy who just made it into office, who's a criminal who's guilty of a whole slew of things, who's going to be pardoning a whole slew of people. Mm-hmm. So what? I can't pardon my son? Later.
I mean, I do think it sucks for people that are in jail, been in jail for a long time, maybe committed a crime.
That's what I'm saying.
And they feel like that they've changed their life and those people should be pardoned as well. But
that's what I'm saying. It's abuse of power and it's unfair. Do you believe in nepotism?
Yes.
So it kind of goes hand in hand. Like when you've worked hard to get to a certain position to empower and give unfair advantage to your family. You know, it's like what side of the coin do you land on that? You know,
I so believe in nepotism, and also I look at it like this.
Explain.
I'm about to. Like, you look at Joe Biden, all the stuff that he had to be through to go through to be president, right? Mm-hmm. In his life, they talk about him daily. They talk about his family, all the pressure and the stress that he has. If I have one pardon for my family member, so be it. Nobody else went through that pressure. Nobody else went through that press. Nobody else had to go through those sacrifice, all the stuff that they have to do. Almost damn near have to be a perfect person to be the president. Nobody's perfect, but damn near, I'm not mad at that. And nepotism, why not? That's what I work for. I work for nepotism. I work hard so my kids could get what I leave them. I work hard so my kids could go follow the same footsteps that I do. People been doing it from the beginning of time. Mm-hmm. So now that when LeBron James gets his son in the NBA, it's nepotism. When the Greek freak who plays for the Milwaukee Bucks, that's the tall basketball player, you know what it is? Mm-hmm. His brother plays on the same team, that's nepotism. So fucking what? People have been doing it all their life. That's why these people stay in these high positions and these high, powerful jobs. I say there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're supposed to do.
There is something wrong with it.
Fuck that.
There's something wrong with the unfair advantage because it is unfair. And then there are people that don't get to benefit from that are in the same boat. Okay, so it's unfair. So that means that it's wrong. It doesn't mean that, listen, sometimes we all do things that we know are wrong, mm-hmm. right? Sometimes where you justify it, but it doesn't unwrong it. Do you know what I mean? Nepotism can or can't be wrong. So let's say, for instance, if we were to exercise nepotism, it would be fine because we have closed businesses. Our businesses are you and I and the people that we employ. Mm-hmm. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if we advance our children or give an advantage to our children, that's our choice because we have a closed business. It's not as though there's someone else that's working for us for 10 years for the same position that is more highly qualified than our child that you snub to give your child the position, because in that sense, it would be unfair. And that's where people wave the nepotism flag, because you're taking away someone else's potential position that they've earned and putting a person that hasn't earned that position in that position. So technically, it is wrong, but people have been doing it for ages. And I don't know, I don't know that if we didn't have a closed business, like if I had a company, a corporate, if I had something like that, I don't know if I would exercise nepotism.
I definitely would. And you want to see my nepotism flag, just like you talk about your nepotism flag? Uh-huh. My nepotism flag is this. Fuck everybody is my nepotism flag. And the reason I say that is if I'm working hard, I'm working sleepless nights, I'm missing kids' games. I'm doing everything that I got to do, and I'm pulling my son
You're
up.
doing it
while I'm
for
pulling
your
my
kids.
daughter. Yes, you can call it nepotism. I'm calling that's what I'm supposed to do. And that's what everybody out there in this world is supposed to do. You're supposed to make sure your family is straight. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to look out for your kids. Nobody's going to look out your family. Nobody's going to look out for your friends. If I open up a corporation tomorrow and it does well, you know who the first person that's going to get hired?
Yes.
Well, it ain't my son or daughter. It's going to be Ben's. But then you know what? Who's after Ben's? Madison.
But that's not that's anti-nepotism. You said the first person nepotism-wise would be Madison.
Well, Ben's has more history of working and controlling the business.
Is that not what I was just speaking on?
But Ben's is like my daughter / sister / work wife.
But that is
she's all of that.
It's technically not. It sounds very incestuous.
It is. But Ben's is my right arm. So right. So Ben's.
Nonetheless,
but Ben's
that's
is
still not nepotism. You're saying you would hire Ben's over Madison.
Yeah.
So that's not
because
nepotism.
Ben's knows more.
You feel like she's like family.
Correct.
So you're saying it's close enough.
Yeah.
Okay. And Madison's going to get hired regardless.
Yes.
So she's not taking her place.
And then Logan, and then the rest of it. I'm Peyton on payroll. At 3, she's on payroll. She got a job.
I understand. I have a different take though.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't hire my child just because.
I am just because.
I wouldn't. For 2 reasons. A, I would want to hire the person best qualified to bolster the business.
I'll make my daughter qualified.
That's my part too. I wouldn't even be nepotism because what I would do is I would see to it that my child was qualified enough to attain that position and bolster it better than anyone that would be competing with her for that same position. I would make sure that she earned it or that my son earned it. Do you understand what I'm saying? I would make sure by way of experience. I would make sure by way of education. I would make sure by way of practicality. I would make sure of it. So it wouldn't just be, well, it wouldn't at all be through nepotism. So yeah, it's a different angle that I would take.
If I'm Elon Musk, I own Tesla, guess who's going to be president? Madison.
I get it.
Guess who's going to be vice president? Logan.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who's going to be...
So it's also seniority.
CEO of marketing.
Because she's the oldest.
Yeah.
Okay.
CEO of marketing. London.
Yeah.
Who's going to
London would be CEO of everything.
Yeah.
London would probably get hired.
Jackson.
London would probably be the vice president.
Jackson, CEO of finance. He handles the money.
Yeah. No, Logan should handle the money.
I don't know. Jackson gives a run for his money.
Logan should handle the money. I would say that London would run the operation. Madison could run the marketing and Logan would handle the money and Jackson would help him handle the money.
Logan ain't handling no money.
Why not?
Hmm?
You said Logan wouldn't handle the money?
Mm-mm.
Why?
Logan
can make $1,000 out of a penny.
Yeah, but Logan's the type that he'll make the money, then buy me out, and then own the company and not have me part of it.
You feel like he's smarter than you?
He would be reading those bylaws and figure out ways in between to overcome.
This is what I'm talking about, making sure your kids are qualified more than anyone that they'd be competing against. All right. Well, let's get to the email of the week.
Oh, shit. Let me find out you got in this motherfucker. All right. What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy. Are you a dad like me? You take your kids everywhere. You feel like a Lyft or Uber driver, and they use your car for everything, even changing. And sometimes your car might smell a little crazy. When I'm talking change, I'm talking about cleats. I'm talking jerseys. I'm talking food. I'm talking tap shoes. Well, if you want your car to smell clean, use Azuna. Now, Azuna Odor Freshener will not just make your car smell clean, it fights the problem. It gets to the root of everything. And you ain't got to worry about it wasting after time because they have refills as well. Hello. So make sure you check out Azuna. Go to Azuna Fresh on Instagram or Amazon and order your Azuna now.
If you don't know what to do or think, put it in a letter, just send it. We'll read it in the email of the week. The email of the week.
Let's go. All right. Please keep me anonymous. Sorry, this is a long one, but I feel like some details matter. I want to start off by saying I love you both and your family. It's amazing to see how you both work together, and it's an inspiration. My husband's 35 and I, 34, have been together 13 years, married for 4, and have 2 kids, a 15-year-old boy from a previous relationship of mine and a 10-year-old girl we've had together. There was a brief separation around 2019 due to his drinking and infidelity. He was very mean around this time and treated me horribly. He was in a car accident, DUI, which caused him great injury. As his family is all in another state, I was the only one he knew here in California and felt the obligation to take care of him. We were not together during this time. While caring for him, we began to fall into old patterns, and my thoughts of he could have died. I felt that I needed to try to make things work. Jump to now. I have been in therapy for about a year, and I notice a lot of things I do not like and realize he does not hug or even kiss me, and I feel like he doesn't even like me. Anytime I try to hug or kiss him, he wants to run to the bedroom. This is never just a hug or kiss. When he leaves, he doesn't even say goodbye. I have expressed my feelings multiple times, and it always turns around to him blaming me for things. We also do not agree on parenting styles, and he has said in front of the kids that he doesn't care what I say. This has the kids not wanting to listen to anything I say. We barely speak, as anytime I bring things up, it turns into a fight, and my feelings never are being considered. I feel like I deserve more. He barely helps around the house and thinks helping financially is enough. Mind you, I work full-time, have a side business, and care for our kids. I do not want to leave, but I think about the kids and what it might do to them, and it also scary leaving something comfortable even though I'm unhappy. How do I fight these feelings of staying for the kids? Because I am miserable and I don't want them to think being treated like this is okay. Maybe I answered my own question, but I would love your thoughts. Thank you for reading and taking your time. I love the podcast and appreciate you all.
Thank you. We appreciate you too. You want to go first or me go first?
I'll go first. You're absolutely positively right. I think when people stay for the kids, it's building up resentment, right? And you try to stay for the kids, but like you said, the kids can see right through the things that you're trying to hide or you don't want them to see. They can see when mommy is happy or when daddy's happy. They can see when everything is together. They can see when things are not working. I always feel like, especially the wife in the family, and I'm not just saying that because she's here. I always feel like happy wife is happy life.
I've been reduced to she.
Yeah, she. I don't know what you identify as, but I always feel like happy wife, happy life. And not just happy wife. I should say happy mother, happy life. The mom, especially in a majority of relationships, handle the majority of things in the house a lot of times, which is usually dealing with the kids, talking to the kids, mostly with the kids, handling them in school and making sure the house is taken care of. That is most situations, right? I would say probably 80 to 90% of those situations. And if the mom is not happy, that pain, that negativity, that nastiness comes off on the kids. Maybe not in the kids where they shut the fuck up type of thing, but they will understand what it is. And if that's what you're doing to the kids, even though you think you're hiding it, they can see right through it.
They can feel your unhappiness.
Yes, absolutely. So if there's a problem in that relationship and there's an issue and you're not dealing with it at the core, you don't have to worry about the kids hiding it from the kids because they see it, they feel it. So I would try to figure out what that is. Now, to rewind, I would say, I would assume that your husband is probably older, right? And the reason I would say probably older, because I know in a lot of older relationships, and when I mean older, I mean probably 50 and plus.
No, she said that I think he's 35 and she's 34.
Did I read that wrong? Let me see. Oh, my husband 35 and 34. So I was wrong with that. The reason I said that is a lot of older relationships and people that come through older relationships come through a relationship where they feel like I'm the boss, the husband, meaning that I'm the boss, whatever I say goes. And I see that a lot with a lot of older relationships. 35 and 34, you guys are pretty young. You don't really see that where it's my shit and this is what it's going to be. The only time you usually see that is in an older relationship or when the husband makes all the money and he feels like the money controls what happens in that household.
He doesn't seem like he's bossy. He seems like he's ignoring her. He's not.
But he told the kids it's my way pretty much or the highway. And I don't think anybody would ever say that unless they don't respect the wife or respect the woman in that relationship. Mm-hmm. If Gia says something to the kids that I don't like, I won't try to trump her in front of the kids.
Right.
If I have if I don't like it or I don't agree, I might pull it to the side or we might go upstairs and be like, hey, I don't like that. Let's talk about it. And then if Gia agrees or I agree, we go back and be like, we had a change of heart. Let's do this. And that same thing with me. If I say something to the kids and Gia was like, nah, I think we should handle it differently. We'll have a conversation and then we'll We'll fix what we think first, and then we'll go back and be like, all right, well, we can go that way or not. That's how I feel all parents should be, right? It shouldn't be one way or the highway. And I think that's always whack when that does happen like that. So the fact that it's happening, I don't think there's a respect for you as a parent, or maybe he just doesn't appreciate you as a parent. So I would try to get to the bottom of that. But you also said that he doesn't hug you. He doesn't kiss you. I guess when you're intimate, he doesn't even say goodbye. That's all a problem.
Just period. When she said when he leaves the house, he doesn't say goodbye. He just bounces.
And that tells me he takes you for granted, right? Meaning when I leave the house or, when I see my wife, I always hug her. We always kiss. We always say goodbye to each other when we leave. I mean, even if Gia is sleeping, I wake her up. I pray with her every morning, or I kiss her on the forehead. When she leaves, she'll kiss me on the forehead, babe.
Like if we don't know each other, we will come find each other to say goodbye, because anything else would be uncivilized.
Mm-hmm. Now, when I do come home at after work, sometimes I don't always go right upstairs because I usually cook my little food and then I bring my food upstairs and then we speak. But we always speak and we always talk to each other when we come or we leave this house. It's just a sign of respect. And with that respect, our kids see that as well. So when our kids come home, if they see our cars here or if they know that we're home, the first thing they do is they go in our room. Hey, mom. Hey, dad.
How was your day? They come find us.
How was your day? Oh, mom. When they go to sleep every night. Every night. I don't care if it's 10 at night, 11 at night. If they're playing video games, if they have their friends here, they're going to come in our room and be like, Dad, I'm going to sleep. Good night. I love you. Jackson, Mom, I'm going to sleep. I love you. Like, that's what we do because they see us do it. And because they see us do it, they do the same exact thing. To the point where we have so much respect in the household. If our kids want something, they ask first. Our kids would be at Mercedes' house and be like, let me call my mom and ask if I can eat that. It's just a matter of respect. This is how we talk. And we also make sure that everybody's taken care of.
Brookie was at her friend's house 2 days ago over the weekend and called me to ask if she could have a gumball.
See?
Because, side note, they're not allowed to put anything in their mouth that's round because I'm so nervous about them choking and slipping down their throats. So anything that's round, they have to cut in half. So I had the mom cut it in half and give it to her.
But that's what we do. We have that type of relationship with everybody in the household. So everybody, it doesn't feel uncomfortable when they call and ask. It just feels like protocol. It feels like the thing to do. And I think that you guys have lost that. And especially when the kids are old enough where it looks like they're about to leave in the next couple of years, I think you need to handle a relationship. If you were already, docked out and signed out, it's sweet that you came back to save the relationship or try to, but it still seems like you're not happy. And at the end of the day, I always tell everybody, you have to be happy. You have to do what makes you happy. Some people feel like marriage therapist or marriage therapy might work, or counsels or whatever, counselor might help, but you have to get to a position and place where you're happy. And it seems like you're not happy. I would lay it all on the line, lay it all down to him. This is what does not make me happy. And if we don't change this relationship here, it's over. Give him the opportunity to try to fix it. Give him the opportunity to say, hey, this is the reason why. Do you have some qualms? Is there something that I'm doing wrong? Let's put it on the table. Then after it's on the table, you give it some time. If things don't change, then you make your decision from there.
To speak on the last thing that he just said, don't ever, 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 ever make a threat in a relationship unless you are ready, willing, and able to pull the trigger. Because the person that you are making that threat to can sense it. They know. And then you find yourself doing it repeatedly, and then you're just crying wolf. And then you're taken as a joke, an unserious joke. Don't ever engage in that. It's not smart and it's counterproductive. If you take his advice and lay everything on the line and go to that man and say, hey, things have to change or I'm out, make sure that you're mentally prepared to be out in that case. And then if he doesn't fix up, leave. Actually do it. This kind of speaks to what I was talking about earlier on in the podcast regarding happiness. Happiness, or I should say unhappiness, can lay in the fact that you don't get a hug or a kiss. It sounds simple and small, but it's actually not simple and small. Little things like that have so much weight, and somebody might say, okay, like you said in the email that, being present financially isn't enough. A friend might say, well, he pays the rent or he pays the mortgage, he puts food on that table. That's good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. You need that hug. You need that kiss. You need that person to come find you when he walks into the house and to come find you when he leaves the house, to let you know that he just got in and he's so happy to see you, or that he's leaving and he's going to miss you and can't wait to get back. We need that. Like, those are amongst the seeds of happiness. That's what makes people smile. That's what fills your soul, being able to feel love, not just have your common needs met. That's not happiness. That's just being able to be alive and function and eat and have a roof over your head and whatnot. But life is meant to be filled with joy. And if you don't have it, you are truly, truly, truly losing out. So now I want to speak on the concept of staying for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being much younger, and I wasn't in this position, obviously, but I remember having conversations with my mom. I don't know if it would be because we're sitting on the bed watching a talk show or a judge show or whatever. But I remember my mom always saying, as a woman, speaking for herself, that I would never stay for kids.
Mm-hmm.
If I were in a situation with a man that I wasn't happy, no kid would get me to stay in that relationship. And I think that she was speaking to the fact that she understood that kids can sense when negativity is consuming the household and sucking up all the energy, and they suffer for it. And I think that she also realized that she, as a woman, would not be meant to suffer, because a suffering woman, as Rashawn alluded to earlier, is no good for her kids. A happy woman that's raising children on her own is better than a married woman in a house that's contaminated with negativity. So that's definitely something to take into consideration. And I'm going to tell you about a friend of mine. I have a friend who was in a relationship for about, I would say, 5 years. A kid was born out of that relationship, a kid that she adores. And this particular friend, I feel as though believed that this man was the best that she could ever do. And part of it was because he always tore her down. He always beat her down. He always insulted her. And when she made noise about possibly leaving, he would say to her, who would want you? You have a kid. No man wants a woman that already has a kid. And insult her appearance, insult her weight, insult many different things about her, where she actually took all that in and believed it. It hurt her self-esteem and it hurt her security. And as a friend, I always tried to lift her up and tell her the truth. Like, girl, you are better than all of this. He has really convinced you that you are nothing without him. I remember having a conversation one day where I said, one day, everything that and she went through a lot. I'm not going to take you through everything that she went through,
Mm-hmm.
but she went through a whole lot. And I remember saying to her, one day, everything that you're going through is going to be too much. It's all going to come to a head, and you will be in a position where you have had enough. Let's say that day comes in 5 years. The only thing that is going to matter at that point is that you wasted 5 years of your life and that you are 5 years further removed from finding the person that you were supposed to be with. And it didn't take 5 years. It took about 2.5 years from when I said that, and that day came. And she was sad.
Mm-hmm.
She felt destitute. But eventually, not too long after, actually, it didn't even take a year, she found someone. And this person adores her, worships the ground that she walks on. And he's a great person, like a great person that brings her a type of joy, not only that she never experienced before, but that she never believed that she deserved. And one more thing, and that she didn't really know that in her own reality would even ever exist. That speaks volumes. It's as though you have no idea what is out there waiting for you and how good life can be if you stay stagnant in this rut that you have normalized. You can't normalize dysfunction and you can't normalize lack of joy. You have to believe in yourself. You have to be secure. You have to understand that you are worthy and that you are good enough and that God's got you. You have to pray for that person. And you have to believe that you are living a life in a way that God would and should bless your life with a person to share in your joy and to help get you to that joyous place. You have to believe that. Because if you don't believe it and you lead with negativity, and as some people would say, not necessarily me, but you put it into the universe, that's the energy and that's the reality that you're going to be met with. So I don't really speak too much in terms of like the universe and manifestation, but people that do, this is what they're talking about. And maybe I would speak on it if I knew a little bit more about it. I'm just talking about how I perceive reality and life and what I guess manifesting has actually done in my own life and what I've bared witness to. Do you know what I mean? I'm just so happy that my friend loves waking up every day and calls me every day to tell me about the flowers that she got for no good reason and the amazing time that she had just going to another friend's house because her person will actually accompany her because the person that she had before would never go to one of their friends' houses for the night to enjoy a game night per se or whatever. So I hope that you're listening, emailer, and think about these things. Just think about what you deserve. And then you get to decide whether the life that you're living is the life that you want to live every single day until you are no longer here. I suspect the answer is no. So if you can't affect change, then I would say you have to start thinking about what's next.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Well, please, if you have any questions or you want any type of advice or you just want to talk some things over with somebody, you can always email us, thekcrew@gmail.com. That's THEEKCrew@gmail.com. We appreciate you for joining us this week. We'll see you guys next week. And just if you haven't seen Real Life, Real Food, definitely check that out. Also check out Gia's vlogs. The vlogs are just a life with Gia, just what she does throughout the day. But it's also things that hopefully you guys do as well. I know Gia's about to put out her mammogram vlog where she went and got her mammogram. I know she's about to put out the vlog where she went and got her heart checked. I know she's about to put out a bunch of different vlogs, her out and about with her friends. I just think it's dope because a lot of times we talk about relationships, we talk about the things that we like and buy and eat and all this other stuff, but you also get an opportunity to see the health things that we should do as well. I'm not going to do a vlog of me going to the colonoscopy or none of that stuff.
I don't think anybody want to see that. God forbid. Come along with me while I educate you on the steps taken to get a colonoscopy.
You don't know if people want to see my ass or not.
Turn over.
We'll see you guys next week. And you know what we're about to do right now? You're about to turn over. I'm DJ MV.
It's too early for that.
No, it's not.
And I am Gia Casey.
It's another edition of the KC Crew.
Toodles.